Did cool shows like Blackish. I was Spanky in Little Rascal. Jenna Ortega was in that movie, so Jenna's a friend. I tried to kiss her one time. Her character, Marianne, grabs Spanky, pulls him in, and yells at him. She pulls me in for like the picture, like yelling at me. Absolutely. So when I was 4, my parents used to own a bar here in Nashville, restaurant called the Nashville Palace. It's up northern side, right across the street from Opryland.
They don't own it anymore? Okay.
They sold it when I was 8.
Okay.
So I grew up on stage there. Started getting on stage when I was 3.
Yeah. Singing,
telling jokes, talking to people, ordering people Shirley Temple shots. That's a real story. And so we had some literally, I'm telling you, I was doing like the holler and swallow where people cheer and like take a shot and stuff. Bro, I was doing that. It's terrible. It's absolutely atrocious for a toddler.
Yeah.
But we had some friends that were they're the Mandrell sisters. So Barbara Mandrell is a super well-known country artist from back in the day.
Okay.
Her sisters, Erlene, Louise, they're like aunts to me.
Okay.
And so they're really good family friends. And their mother told my parents, why don't y'all try acting with Jet? He's kind of got that personality. Whatever that means.
You go with people.
Literally.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. They had a friend who was an agent, Mark Block. He's still my agent to this day. And we met with him when I was 4. I started going on auditions, started booking jobs.
That's crazy.
Like I was in an Alan Jackson music video, Lady Antebellum, doing commercials and stuff like that.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
dude.
and
that
then
is so crazy.
it was neat. And then about a year later, he said, "Well, I'm gonna send you all out to L.A. I've got a friend out there who was my manager for a very long time, and she set me up with my agent that I have out there, Osbrink, and just kind of started working. Like it was back to back to back stuff. Did cool shows like Blackish. I was on Little Rascals.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude.
I was Spanky in Little Rascals.
Oh, yeah. I saw some.
Spanky, the high sign. There you go. Dude, what's funny? I had to wear a fat suit for that movie.
Did you?
Which I don't know what happened. If you look at pictures of me from like 11 to like 15, I was a short, chubby kid.
Oh, dude, same, bro.
But not that I'm like tall now, but I'm not overweight.
Yeah, dude. I had the same problem, bro.
I was the complete opposite when I was 7.
Yeah.
I was a toothpick. I didn't eat. I like was super skinny. I was never hungry, but I was always like running. I played soccer like 5-6 days a week. I played basketball. I was always doing stuff.
Super active.
Yeah. So I was a toothpick. So they had to put me in a fat suit that made my belly bigger, but wasn't so obnoxiously large that they had to like do stuff to the rest of my body.
And they did that because
just
they wanted
because
to fit
that's
the
what
show?
Spanky was throughout history.
Okay.
I'm the 3rd Spanky ever. All of us are the 3rd of our characters ever. So like there was the black and white like Spanky in our gang or whatever it was called back in the day, black and white. We had to watch that in pre-production to like learn our characters.
Okay.
There was the 1994 movie where Bug Hall played Alfalfa. He actually had a cameo in our movie. And then they had us. Jenna Ortega was in that movie, so Jenna's a friend. I actually had a huge crush on Jenna when we filmed the movie. So I basically had a crush on Jenna before half of America had a crush on her. And I tried to kiss her one time. I think she was...
Oh my God,
dude, I was 7. I had no game. I had no game. I didn't get it. And I tried to kiss her one time. I've never told this story, I don't think, on a podcast or anywhere. I was like 7. There's a part in the movie where her character, Marianne, grabs Spanky, pulls him in, and yells at him.
Yeah.
And so it was after production. We were filming or doing photos for the movie for like cover arts and stuff. And they put a picture up of that, and my dad was like, he knew I had a crush on her. He was like, if you kiss her, I'll buy you a computer.
No, a computer, bro.
I was the homeschooled Catholic kid that didn't get a phone till I was 14. Like I didn't have any of that stuff. I didn't have video games. And so Universal gave us all Nintendo 3DSs on that film. That was really cool. I'd never had a video game.
That's so awesome,
That was sick.
Yeah.
So anyways, she pulls me in for like the picture of like yelling at me, and I tried to kiss her, but I like chickened out halfway through.
Yeah. We
were like this close, and I still messed it up.
Bro, she could be your wife right now. What are you
doing? What am I doing wrong?
You screwed it, bro.
Sorry, honey. My girlfriend's listening to this. She's like, excuse me? So Jenna like pulled back. She was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know.
Nothing.
I ran. I started crying. I ran away. It was my first embarrassment.
Dude.
I was homeschooled. I didn't know like what embarrassment like that was.
Yeah. Homeschooled, but you were an actor in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Bro. That's crazy.
And so that night, I was used to like putting myself out there in front of like adults like in a work setting because I just thought that was fun. but like kids my age, I got nervous around.
Yeah, of course.
And she was a girl, so like none of us guys knew how to talk to girls at 7 years old.
Yeah, dude.
So, and she was a couple years older, and so that night she was like, "I'll give you a kiss on the cheek." And I was like, let's go. I've not washed this side of my face since I was 7 years old.
7-year-old.
Jenna. So if Jenna watches this, she's going to be like, oh my God, Jed, I can't believe you told that story.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So I still keep in touch with them, like to a certain extent. You know, they're all doing their own things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's that many of us that are still involved in the entertainment world.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of doing their own thing. The guy that played Alfalfa, I think he just graduated from like A&M, something like that.
Okay.
Like
he was a couple
like
years older than.
Yeah. So I was one of the youngest.
Okay.
There was, I think, 3 or 4 of us that were like between like 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And everyone else was, I think, 10 and 11. Maybe there was a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty much between like 9 and 11 were the older kids, and there was like 6 and 7.
So when did you like completely stop? Like,
so I still do auditions and stuff like that. Obviously, college is like a
I mean, like
thing.
Consistently, like
COVID. 2020.
Okay. Yeah.
2020. I did. I actually did a lot of voiceover work over COVID from
sweet.
home.
What shows?
So I did pretty much like 90% of a Disney Junior show called Tots. I did that from home during COVID, like 2020, 2021. I think even into 2023. And then last year during freshman year, I would go home and I would record for Nickelodeon. The next up on Nick Jr., you're watching Bubble Guppies or whatever.
Oh my God.
Which was funny because I was literally introducing...
Hear that voice in my nightmares, bro.
Yeah. I was introducing a show that I was on, Bubble Guppies. I was on Bubble Guppies when I was 7.
I used to watch that show.
I was Nani. Orange hair, blue goggles.
Yep,
that one. That was me.
Bro.
And so I was introducing... like myself essentially, but like over a decade later, which I think that's really funny.
That is so cool.
So COVID, like I said, kind of threw a wrench in all of that. I'm on the board of directors for the Screen Actors Guild here in Nashville, which is really cool.
What is that?
It's our union.
Okay.
I think I'm the youngest board member in the country.
So flex,
which is kind of cool. It is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But it just COVID threw a wrench in a lot of that.
Yeah, dude.
And then college, I've had to turn down a couple of things because I've like this school year because I've missed X amount of days on classes for like touring for music.
Yeah.
And so then obviously, you know, it's like I obviously Belmont is pretty cool about if you're working in the career field that you're going to school for, that's like they'll work with you.
That's cool.
But also I don't want to miss that many classes. Like I don't want to fail every exam. I might miss a project here or there, but I don't want to fail everything.
Yeah.
Like before I literally came here, I just had to present in front of my quant methods in business class.
How'd that go?
Next thing. No, it was fine. It's just, I can't stand that class.
Yeah,
I'm not a math person.
Same.
The only thing I need to be able to count to 8. I'm a musician. That's it. I don't have to count past 8.
4 counts.
Let's be honest. I don't need to. I'm not, I'll pay somebody to do my quant methods in business.
What was your transition from like acting to music and then like choosing to go to music school?
So they were always like intertwined because they both started at such a young age.
Yeah.
Technically, music came first.
Really?
For me, because I started getting on stage when I was 3.
That's right. Yep.
My parents bought me a little Taylor guitar when I was 10.
Okay.
Because I hadn't really been like super involved in music for a little bit. Just been acting. You know, they sold the restaurant, so I wasn't on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I started learning songs and just playing to play. And I think when I was 11 or 12 is when I started writing. I started writing songs.
That's pretty young, dude. I think I started, like, I write for fun. I think I started doing that, like, senior year of high school, bro.
So I started writing I was actually in California, first time I ever wrote. And one of my best friends in the whole world, Olivia McKenna, who's also a songwriter and a singer, she was here. And we'd FaceTime. And we wrote over FaceTime. We were doing Zoom writes before COVID made us do Zoom writes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And so I just kind of started playing more. And I think I was 11 or 12. My parents bought me like my first like nice guitar the guitar that's literally sitting over there. They bought me that guitar.
Still have it, dude. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my dad's guitor, dude.
That's cool.
Sentimental, bro.
That's cool. It's those sentimental things. Yeah. Like I'm never going to get rid of that guitar. As a graduation gift from high school, they bought me a custom Martin D18 with my name, my signature in it.
Dude, that's
it's
so
inlaid
sick.
in the neck, which is super cool. I should have brought that guitar, but it's back at the house.
So it wasn't like a conscious decision to go from one to the other.
I was actually doing them both at the same time. Like I put my first album out while we were still in California and I was working. And I mean, I sound like a broken record, but 2020, everything like changed for everybody.
Yeah.
And so then it was just like, well, I can still do music from home.
Yeah.
I can Zoom write. I can FaceTime write with people. I can write songs on my own.
Yeah.
So like majority of my second album were COVID songs. They were written like in the heat of COVID.
Okay.
So I put that one out, which was Phase 1 Discover. And then we, right after that album, instantly started writing this past one that we put out in July.
Okay.
I started working because your teenage years are so different and so changing. Like what I thought when I was 14 is completely different than what I'm thinking at 19.
Yeah.
Like you get that.
Of course, yeah.
And so I just had to keep writing, and that's why I'm putting the albums out in phases.
Yeah.
Phase 1 was discovering myself as a person, as a songwriter, as an artist.
That's what your songs are about.
Yeah.
Okay.
The songs are about what I'm going through in that phase.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see, like, this past album is, I always call this past album like my Olivia Rodrigo Sour album, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the songs, you can kind of hear the story arc of that story.
I get you.
People aren't stupid. You can hear Falling Too, and then you hear Ruin This Town. Like, they're two different songs that tell the polar opposite ends of the same story.
Okay.
People aren't stupid. They can figure that out.
Yeah.
And so that's why that was, The Ride, Phase 2.
Okay.
That whole album is a complete ride of emotions. And so that's why I'm putting stuff out this fall, this winter, and then into the start of 2025, I'll have an entirely acoustic EP of what I'm going through now. Now I'm in a very happy relationship with a girl I love very much.
Dude, yeah.
So